Rice is one of Nigeria's most stable foods, and that value chain is significant because of several reasons, including food security, economic development, and of course, job creation. Welcome to another episode of LCFE Market Plus. My name is Joy Osamujame. Welcome back. Now let's talk about Eko Rice. You can see that banner behind me right now. That is Eko Rice, and of course this is LCFE Market Plus. We want to look at Eko Rice contract and turning agriculture into a profitable business investment. How can you be involved in the whole value chain of Eko Rice? Investing in Eko Rice, buying Eko Rice, or selling Eko Rice? Discussing this topic with me is Oba Adeyemi. He's the MD Commodities Trade Net Limited. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good morning, Joy.
Welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much and welcome. Now, let's talk about Eko Rice contracts, the contract as a whole. Why should investors consider agricultural commodities like rice in the first place to invest in?
Thank you very much. In your opening remarks, you alluded to some of the critical reasons. Number one, rice is a staple, not only in Nigeria, it's a global staple food. Number two, it's also an opportunity for investors to make money because of the economy of rice in Nigeria. It gives a whole lot of investment value to investors in Nigeria. And then also, it gives an opportunity for capacity development in our youths across the entire value chain of rice. And talking about Eko Rice contracts, it is an innovative product of the Lagos Commodities and Futures Exchange in conjunction with Commodities Trade Net Limited. And by the way, Commodities Trade Net Limited is a subsidiary of Lagos Commodities and Futures Exchange.
All right.
Now, the whole idea behind the Eko Rice contract is for us to come up with an innovative way of trading rice. And we regard it as doing rice differently. For a very long time, rice has always been the staple in Nigeria. People have eaten rice. However, LCFE has come up with this game-changing innovation whereby instead of selling rice the traditional way, in conjunction with the Commodities Trade Net Limited, we've created contracts against Eko Rice. So buyers, investors have access to the contracts. Now, it means that anyone can come on the floor through their respective commodities brokers to buy rice contracts. So on the floor of LCFE, what they sell or make available to the investing public are contracts for Eko Rice. Now, you can buy a unit of that contract, which is 150 kg bag of Eko Rice.
Just one?
Just one. So it is open to everyone. And there are no bureaucracies. All you just need to do is have access to one of the commodity brokers, and their names are available on the website of Lagos Commodities and Futures Exchange. Or if you walk into the office of Lagos Commodities and Futures Exchange, they will advise the names of these brokers. You can speak with any one of them and tell them about your intent of buying into Eko Rice contracts. And when your contract matures, you can take delivery of your rice from whichever locations you've agreed to pick them. Because currently we do have a number of locations where they can be picked. We call them redemption centers. The very first one.
And I'm sure they can see it on the screen already.
Okay, thank you very much. So the main redemption center is the mill itself, and that goes especially for people who are buying large volumes, especially the large rice merchants. So, like I said, we'll definitely have more redemption centers with the passage of
now,
time.
I want to ask this question because it's a troubling question. Right? I remember there was a time I posted about Eko Rice, and I had a whole lot of engagements, people asking, where is this rice? How come it's not in the market? If we say it's Eko Rice, why is the rice not in my closest market? If I want to start distributing the rice, where do I start from? How much is the rice? What's the minimum amount that someone who wants to start distributing the rice can buy?
A whole lot of things are involved in whether people are seeing Eko Rice in the market or they are not seeing Eko Rice. And I'll give you a background to data about Lagos State. Still counting, Lagos State is estimated to be about 24 million people. It's a growing population.
Yeah.
Now, based on study that has been conducted about rice consumption in Lagos, Lagos alone consumes minimum of 44 million bags annually of rice. Now, Eko Rice is being milled at the Lagos Rice Mill, Imota. At full capacity, the mill at Imota, incidentally, it is the largest rice mill in Africa, can produce 2 million plus bags of rice annually.
So that's
now,
like
exactly, it's just hogging about 5% of the consumption of rice in Lagos. So it is a drop in a large pool for Lagos State. So I can understand when people say they don't have it. Again, we struggle, just like any other mill struggles to get the requisite and the most important raw material, which is rice paddy. During the last administration, we were doing about 4.8 million metric tons of rice paddy, which is maybe about 70-75% of the need. However, between the last administration and this current administration, there's been a huge increase in the number of rice mills, number one. Population too is increasing. So the demand for rice is also on the high, to the point that there is a stiff competition for even the available rice paddy in the country. We try as much as possible to even score the entire coast of West Africa to get the particular species, which is a Faro 44 and 52 that we use in milling Eko Rice. I can tell you it's a tough engagement because number one, it's either it is too dry and then you have too much breakages and then you are losing a whole lot of value, or it's not the kind of species that the Lagos Rice Mill has been set up. So that is another major challenge. However, even with the volume we're able to aggregate and mill, it's a drop in the ocean because of the large population of Lagos. And let me tell you again, some other people outside of Lagos, they come to buy Eko Rice. So now, a product that is not even enough for Lagos already, you had other people from as far as Abuja, as far as Port Harcourt, coming to buy Eko Rice. So the competition is stiff, and we understand really well that people love Eko Rice because of its quality. And we make bold to say that it's about the best quality in the market. And it has its own added advantage of being farm fresh. There are no additives, so there are no risks to anybody's health.
Yeah, I think I can bear witness to that. I am a lover of Eko Rice.
Thank you, Joy.
The Eko Rice is the family brand for us. Okay. Now you've mentioned challenges, and that is like an opportunity for investors.
Absolutely.
Now, where does investors come in? How can people, when you say invest in Eko Rice, where can people invest in? Because all we know about rice is just go to the market and buy. If you want to sell, then sell. So why should people invest through the commodities trade net?
So there are two other questions that I haven't taken from the last one. Shall I take those or just answer?
Yes.
So you talked about people who want to buy. How can they do that, or who wants to invest?
Yes.
So I think I alluded to this earlier. approach any commodities broker listed on the floor of LCFE. You can purchase Eko Rice.
Okay.
Again, that's not to say that if anybody comes to Commodities Trade Net and there's an urgent need, we also do on OTC,
okay,
over the table transactions. Okay. So we can actually do a direct sale, okay, to them, and then this will be crossed later, okay, on the floor of the exchange. So okay, we run an open door policy. Okay. People can approach. You can go to any of the centers where we redeem contracts. Okay. You can buy directly. Informations are being collated, and okay, it can be at the back end, yeah, it can be crossed on the floor of the exchange, because for us it's important that we have data on every sale that okay, we make. So coming back to the fact that investors have an opportunity, absolutely, wherever there are challenges, yeah, we see them as opportunities, mm-hmm, to make money. And across the value chain, for us, there are 2 or 3 critical points that investors can look at. Number 1, people who can go into the cultivation. They can go into backward integration, cultivate. We can offtake whatever volume that they can produce.
That's the farmer.
Those are the farmers. Mm-hmm. That's the number 1 point whereby okay, you can invest. And I know that government is aggressively trying to ramp up production of rice. Okay. We also, what happened last year, December, when the price of a 50 kg bag went as high, mm-hmm, as 90, if not 100,000 naira. Okay. Yeah, even for some brands of rice. So it tells us that there's stiff competition for the raw material rice paddy. So it's important that we produce more. And God has blessed Nigeria with enough arable land. So that opportunity exists. And then also for aggregators, people standing between the farm gates and processors. Yeah. So also that opportunity exists whereby people can go to the farm gate, buy the raw paddy, and then supply to a mill like the Lagos Rice Mill at okay, Imota. Okay. Now, apart from those who are actively involved in either cultivation or sourcing and supplying, mm-hmm, other investors who really wants to expand their portfolio of investments, mm-hmm, either to manage risks or just take advantage of the opportunity of making more money, they can buy into the rice contracts. And what do I mean? They do not necessarily have to take delivery of the rice contracts. Okay. They can buy, let's say for instance, we push out contracts in August. Mm-hmm. We push out contracts in September. We can push out contracts in October, September, October, and then November. Now, the reason for those contracts being pushed out will probably be against Christmas sales and New Year, which is when we record the highest sales of rice. Now, if I push out contracts in August against September, October, and so on, the contract in August will be cheaper compared to that of September, compared to that of because as we go close to Christmas, the demand will become higher. So if, for instance, you have bought contract in August, you can sell it on.
Okay, but that.
Yes, you don't necessarily need to wait to take delivery. So you can sell it on the secondary market to other people to offtake it, who can now take delivery of that. And it's something that happens a lot. Some people come, they buy a cool contract, they wait and resell that contract for
and
profit.
All this can be done on the exchange?
Yes, all of this can be done on the exchange. Actually, that's the beauty of it. And like I said, it's open. You don't need to know anybody. Just approach any broker who are listed, who are members of LCFE.
So it means that people need to stay glued to your website, right? Is there like an app or?
So no, there is no app as it were. That would be something that can happen in the future. Again, LCFE, if I can speak to that, is very conscious of risks. Okay. So what they had done within the exchange is to put forward a robust and solid risk management framework. And so that way, there are members of the exchange, we call them members of the exchange, who incidentally are also dealing member firms, okay, and who also double as commodity brokers. Okay. They are all registered with Securities and Exchange Commission. Oh, okay. So they are all people who are, overseen by SEC. Now, these are the people that you can trade through. So the exchange doesn't have an app whereby anybody will just access. So you can access the trading platform through these registered daily member firms. So their names are on the website. Yeah, the website is open, quite user-friendly. You can easily either call the exchange or get across to any of the daily member firms, which I believe are no strangers to Nigerians, because these same daily member firms on the floor of Lagos Commodities and Futures Exchange, they are also daily members on the floor of the NGX,
Stock exchange.
the stock exchange. So people buy stocks through them, so you can easily buy commodity contracts through them.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, how can small investors, is there a room for a small investor to play in this old market?
Joy, the beauty of it is that there is room for everyone. Like I told you, the smallest unit of a contract is a 50 kg bag.
So I can decide to buy one bag now,
yes, and then sell
in December.
Exactly.
Awesome.
In fact, what some people do, they buy from now, they buy in bits, and then in December they sell.
They start selling.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the smallest units of purchase is one, which is a 50 kg bag of rice. In fact, it's even been done to the point that I remember the listing when we were working with LCFE. We agreed that you can actually buy as low as maybe a 5 kg, but you won't be able to take delivery of that, except maybe you come together with with a number of people. You gather your money together, like a cluster buy, and then you sell. However, with the passage of time, we now started producing smaller units. So right now, we have Eko Rice as 50 kg, 25 kg, 10 kg, and of course 5 kg bags.
I'm sure you can see the display right now on the screen. All the kgs are available, and you can invest in any one of them.
Absolutely. So the whole idea is to make it available to Nigeria.
Now, what are the risks associated with this kind of investment? What are you doing to combat those risks, mitigate those risks?
Okay, for risks, just like any commodity or any item in life, the critical risk that we've seen is fluctuations in price.
Yes.
Right now, we're actually in the middle of an upheaval of prices of rice. I mean, rice going very expensive, and then government trying to do all it can to make it affordable for everyone in Nigeria. So that is the major risk that we've seen, fluctuation in price. Again, that is the beauty of investment. Now imagine that, what have we done to help investors with that? So we have forward contracts whereby investors can buy those forward contracts, and then whatever happens, you are going to make your margin. I'll give you an instance of one. When we started out in selling Eko Rice contracts, we started at 33,000 naira, the first set of contracts.
Wow.
However, before the maturity of those contracts, prices of rice had moved to 45,000. So you can see the arbitrage value that investors were able to make on those contracts. So the beauty of investments in such instruments is that investors look for fluctuations. But again, what I can advise any investor is that understand the seasonality of commodities. Even though there is so much money to be made, but because commodities are seasonal, there's that risk that if you don't watch it very well, you could lose some funds in the course of trading. So it's always very important that understand the cycles of commodities cultivation, especially in Nigeria. So that way you will know when to come in and when to exit.
Awesome. I love this discussion this morning. Now, should you need any information about how to invest in Eko Rice contracts, you can contact any of the details displayed on the screen right away. And of course, our redemption centers are all over the states, so you can go to the one that is closest to you. Now, Mr. Oba, before we go, can you give us one word for our audience, our investors out there?
Well, one thing I will give to all of us, not just the investors, is that we should do Eko Rice. Again, Eko Rice is farm fresh, no health issues, there are no additives, no chemicals added to it. And because of that, we are very confident that Nigerians will not contract any health issues eating Eko rice, as against many foreign rice that are brought in that already have a lot of chemicals added to them. And again, one other thing with most of these imported grains is that they are very close to their shelf life before being brought into the country. And people have complained a whole lot about issues ranging from one thing to another about their health. But Eko rice doesn't have that. And for the investing public, we encourage them to invest in Eko rice contracts.
Well. Eko rice is a whole lot of investment opportunities right here. And I'm not sure I've seen something like this on other brands of rice. So that makes it a very, very commendable work you are doing at the Commodities Trade.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, in case you're asking, this mill that we are talking about, where is it? You can watch our exploration. You know, I actually went to the mill some time ago and I had a detailed exploration about how rice is being processed in Lagos State Rice Mill, Imota, where this Eko rice is coming from. So what we are saying is not just audio. It's not audio mill we are talking about. It's not audio investment. Everything you are saying here or you are hearing is live and direct. So like I said, if you need more information or you want to make more inquiries, call or contact any of the numbers displayed on the screen. Now, we've come to the end of today's episode of LCFE Market Plus. Till I come your way same time next week, follow us on all our social media platforms for more updates and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do have a beautiful week. Bye for now.